Run Back Show. We're running back our previous conversation. Today is October 29th, 2025. This is episode. We're running back our previous conversation. Today is October 29th, 2025. This is episode. We're running back our previous conversation. Today is October 29th, 2025. This is episode. So this is Conversation with Tony Mobley. And we have a show that is also a lab. So you may be hearing me doubled. However, we're going to rectify that in a few minutes. And I just ask that those of you who are watching be patient with us. Doubled. However, we're going to rectify that in a few minutes. And I just ask that those of you who are watching be patient with us. However, we're going to rectify that in a few minutes. And I just ask that those of you who are watching be patient with us. All right, we're going to get to our very first question. First, let me just say this is a Special Education and Exceptional People Part 2. And we have some of our guests that are back from our previous conversation. And we're just going to thank them so much for coming back again. And we want to just acknowledge that most of them were on our past conversation. This is episode 20. This is episode 41 of 2025, October 29th, 2025. Again, Special Education and Exceptional People, Part 2. And so we are looking forward to having a great conversation today. We want to thank our producer, Clyde Lopez Waterman, and our current team, Laura Thompson, Zachary Sorensen, and Mickey Magature. Thank you, sir. Thank you, team. This is Conversation with Tony Mobley. And we want to reach out to those parents or loved ones that are watching. We have a chat that's called Mukana. It's courtesy of Alex Lindsay and 090. And you can watch and listen and ask your questions in Mukana. You can vote your question up and down. But if you don't want to do that, guess what? You can just ask your questions in the YouTube chat. That's right. Please take an opportunity to ask your questions in the YouTube chat. Parents, this is a great opportunity. You have educators, you have exceptional people, and you have experts that can help you resolve some of the challenges you may be going through. So again, ask your questions. First question is, panel members, welcome. Welcome again. Welcome back. And we're going to get started with, who are you? And I'm asking because you may have shared who you are the last time you were on, but we might have new viewers. So we want you to just share with each and every one of us that might be listening who you are. We're going to start with one of our educators, Chantel Jackson. Thank you, Ms. Jackson, for being with us today. Happy to have you.
I am happy to be here. I am Chantel Jackson. I am a special education teacher. This is year 18 for me. I'm also a realtor. I just dib and dab in a little bit of everything. I like helping people.
Okay, we're going to go to another educator, Ms. Carissa Worthy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carissa Worthy. I've been in education this is my 17th year. I'm currently not in the classroom. I serve as an assessment program specialist in Fulton County, but I was in the classroom for 10 years. I have dual certification, so I have experience with general and special education.
Thank you. We're going to go to our parent on the panel, Mr. J.J. McKenna.
Parent of two kids, now very much adults. Both successfully got through the education system here in California. both on different sides of the spectrum of needs within the education system here. For one, it was constant advocacy for additional classes, and for the other, it was additional constant advocacy for IEPs and maintaining that, and eventually signing paperwork that was disqualified my student officially, and yet she was still given additional services.
Thank you. And we're going to go to our exceptional person that's on the panel, Mr. Jaron Durham. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm Jaron Durham, and I'm currently enrolled in Sandra Technical College to get my GED.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir, for being here. All right. So now we're going to ask, where are you currently in your journey? And so we're going to start with Jaron. Jaron, where are you currently in your journey?
Well, I've got my accommodations for my GED, and recently I have a new niece.
Okay. Congratulations on your new niece. I wondered if one of the educators would be willing to talk about the importance of of what Jaron just said in terms of the accommodations. Will one of you volunteer and just share what that means?
I got you. Okay, as far as accommodations are concerned, especially where Jaron is talking about, he's talking about the accommodations for testing purposes. It could be extended time, it could be the test being read aloud, whatever those needs are to make it where Jaron is on the even playing field when he's being assessed.
Thank you so much for that. And congratulations, Jaron. I understand that the process was expedited, and that it was done in a way in which was extremely unusual, that you were able to make extremely good progress in getting things done. So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you, but
Okay.
Auntie.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you say, Jaron? Missed that.
I said thank you, but some of the thanks goes to my auntie for helping make this possible.
Okay. Which auntie is that?
My Aunt Kay.
Your Aunt Kay. Okay. And your Aunt Kay is there with you today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Aunt Kay, for your support.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we're talking about currently where you are in your journey. So educators, can you tell us where you are in your journey in terms of education? Give us a little bit more, particularly Carissa, in terms of you're not in the classroom anymore. Can you give us an understanding of what you actually are doing in terms of? I heard your title, and it's impressive, but can you tell us what that actually means for regular people?
So my current role is an assessment program specialist here in Fulton County in Georgia. So basically, our Fulton County is broken up into 7 zones. So I support one of our zones, Zone 3. And my support basically is going into, and I'm K-12 now, so I support kinder through 12. I go into the building, support the admin team. So that's your principal, APs, and your instructional coaches. Anything that has to do with assessments, whether that be administering the assessment, after giving the assessment, looking data analysis, looking at the data, analyzing it, and then creating a plan from there of how to support with instruction and any like instruction or anything to move the needle basically for moving the data within a school building.
So you work principally with the instructors and not children anymore. Is that correct?
Correct. The most I'm gonna deal with kids is maybe if we go in and do observations, because we that is a part of the jobs we have what they call site visits. And so that's basically you have your district leaders and then you have your admin teams that are in the building, and we go in and do observations, provide feedback for them. So that's the most that I'm dealing with kids right now.
Okay, we're going to go to our parent, and then we're going to finish up with Miss Jackson.
Where I am as in my journey.
Yes.
As an autodidact, it is constantly requisite that I continue my personal education for working today with the onslaught of AI in every sector and folks trying to get rid of humans. It's imperative to continue my own education for my youngest child. In her case, she's currently working on getting her accommodations added back, and that in this case means very frequently just seeing a psychologist, and with the help of psychologists finding ways to still indicate whether or not in her case, because she has a decoding issue, letters that appear on the screen take a while for her brain to break down back into words again. And the many types of strategies she used and she developed growing up, which included writing stuff down, that doesn't necessarily immediately transfer back into reading the written word yet. So since we still rely so much on the written word versus YouTube videos, or Khan Academy is one of the things that will frequently have spoken word education, and that was one of her accommodations was having her textbooks read aloud to her, and then she would take notes. Having a reader who would read the words, she'd take notes on that, and then had extra time to make sure that when she was writing cogently. And so currently for her, since she'd like to go back and go into nursing, she wants to continue her goal had been working as a doctor. Currently she's a coach. She coaches young students and is a math tutor. So she teaches because she's great at math. I mean, she's a brilliant kid. So working in that field, her desire would be to go back and continue her education. So she's working on getting her accommodations established again.
Now, the daughter you're speaking of right now, which one is that?
The one you guys saw last week. I have a son and a daughter. So the only daughter.
Okay, I'm sorry. So let your daughter know. Let Zonia know that Zanya know.
Xenia.
I got it right at that time, right?
Xenia.
Xenia.
Yeah.
Xenia, that we miss her,
Mm-hmm.
and that we look forward to having a conversation with her in the future.
Sure.
And we're going to finish with Miss Jackson.
Okay. So currently I am in the classroom, kind of like Carissa. I did the whole continuum of special education, minus gifted. But I've been in the classroom as a teacher coach, as a mentor. I've also been at the district level as a program specialist. But right now I'm in the classroom. I am also continuing to educate myself. So I am also in a leadership program, just so that I can actually have a little more flexibility, I think, in my career choices.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. And we want to say again to the parents and advocates that are watching, this is a great panel that you want to ask questions to. So please put those questions in Mukana or put them in the YouTube chat. You don't want to miss this opportunity to get some real answers for people who are in the trenches and know what's going on. Our next question is, do you have some good news since the last time we had this opportunity to talk? And so I'm going to start with Carissa because she wasn't actually here the last time, but she may have been watching, and so maybe she can share something that took place since we were all on.
I don't think I necessarily have any good news. I guess one thing for me in my current role, in the past I was spread out amongst Fulton County, supporting 2 zones. So having the ability to now just support one zone, K-12, and kind of see the gradual progress within one zone has been a good thing for me this year.
Thank you. JJ, any good news since the last time we were on?
Well, every week's good news. Here, get the good news in church. Additional good news. I had choir rehearsal last night, and I think we have a pretty awesome concert performance coming up on this 15th for myself, for my daughter. The the issues we had with our crazy neighbor have also subsided, so that's great news for us internally. Coming up, nothing huge aside from the fact that my daughter, who desperately wanted to be here today, right now she's hosting a haunted house at the gymnasium where she's she's working. So today I got to make brain molds. We took spaghetti, overcook it, put it in a bowl, put a chopstick in the middle, weight it down, and then feels like a brain.
Oh wow, that's very cool. Just curious, are you going to be streaming the event at the church?
Yes. Well, it's a concert. It's with the San Francisco Choral Society. That will be streaming the 15th.
Fantastic, great news. All right, Ms. Jackson, we're down to you.
Okay, good news. Classroom-wise, kids are jumping in, they're actually starting to understand my rules. I'm in a new school this year. I went from elementary to middle school this year, and these students have never seen me before. I remember seeing them when they were younger, when I was at the district level, but they never remember seeing me, of course. So they're getting to understand my no nonsense. In real estate, I have a solid plan for the next 2 to 5 years to make some big moves. And school's going well. My grades are great. That's my great news for right
Fantastic.
now.
That's fantastic. And Jaron, do you want to add on to your good news? We know about your accommodations, but is there anything else besides your new niece that you want to share with us?
Yes.
Go
I'm
ahead.
alive. I'm still alive on this earth, and so is everyone else I care about. That's good news.
And didn't you recently have a birthday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did your birthday go?
Went well. I mean, I went to Chili's and celebrated my family, but
Okay. Is Chili's a place that you like?
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations and happy birthday. All right. Our next question is, and we're going to start with JJ on this next question because he kind of already mentioned it. What are your thoughts on AI? Is there one that is helpful to you? Is there one, JJ, that you think is helpful to the community of exceptional people?
I have nothing good to say about AI yet. In that, for the past 2 years, there's been a lot of hubbub, a lot of conversations about how AI is here to help us improve the way folks think. I just, as a person who functions within first principles, as a person who has spent most of my life acquiring knowledge from books, I can appreciate the average information that's fed into and interpreted by AI. As a large language model has, what I've seen so far is usually there's very frequently inaccurate results that as long as one follows the links from whence those results were tabulated, which can occur so frequently in whatever you use, whether it be Google or Gemini, the on the side, usually just like on Wikipedia, it'll give you a list of where the results for that information may have come from and the suppositions of that analysis by AI in compiling that data for a person to have some sort of true answer, but the true answers in there are also manipulated. And just like on Wikipedia, like if you looked up certain organizations, you'll get false information about that organization on Wikipedia because it's fed by that organization. You're intentionally being misled. So I'm a hard no. And my wife has encountered this recently. We were talking about it just this morning, in that folks now, she as a tax accountant, that's also another great news. October 15th has come and gone, so I now get to see my wife. I didn't get to see her for months. So October 15th, which is business tax day or second quarter tax for lots of folks, she's now getting phone calls from folks who are convinced because ChatGPT has told them that they can save more money on their taxes by doing harebrained nothingness. That is to say, it's an inaccurate analysis by an inaccurate system fed by very frequently not truth, skewed with continued not truth, told to experts. When I, as a person who's been trying very hard to be a subject matter expert for many years, I personally would use AI to find the path towards an answer rather than the answer. And I think that's the big problem is it's becoming a crutch, and it's becoming a crutch for the entirety of our society. When things are hard, when things are difficult, then amazing things happen. Like, Billie Holiday, Mrs. Day. Billie Holiday was an amazing performer, amazing artist, because things were hard for her. She produced amazing music because things were hard for her. And AI will never have a bad day. AI will never have a boo-boo. AI will never have to learn anything that's difficult for them because they're fed. It is fed information by folks who might not have the right answer. So no, I have no good use for AI really yet.
Okay. I probably should have made you last, on that question. All right. Educators, do you have any uptakes on AI? Carissa?
I would say in Fulton County, we are moving toward using AI more in the classrooms. Right now we're using, I think it's School AI, maybe it's called, and we also have Copilot, like for the teachers. I don't think the students are using Copilot as much, but that we are encouraging teachers to start using the School AI in classroom, whether it be for quizzes, additional support with content, or things of that nature. Also for using assessments, that is encouraged to use for that as well.
Chantel?
For me, I do use it. I think it allows for, if I put the information in there, I think I understand where JJ's coming from as far as the misinformation. But if I put the information in there and I just need you to restate it so it looks pretty on paper, I think it's a great tool for those type of things. And as Carissa was saying, those quick little, let's create a quiz, check for understanding, create those pretty documents that we need to upload for our lesson plans and those type of things. I still think that we need to ensure that we are the people putting in the data, putting in that information. Just use my words and make them pretty. Make it, here's the format. I need it to be in this specific format because this is what my school says. Or I need this to be shortened because I had 1,000 words when I needed 500. That kind of thing, I think is purposeful. I have been starting to work with my students on picking up that whole Copilot thing, largely because most of my students were, or a large number of my students were identified later in school. It took them a long time. So by the time they got to the right setting or the right programming as far as special ed is concerned, those foundational skills were completely missed. If you're in kindergarten and you're supposed to learn foundational reading, science of reading skills, and you don't get them, And your brain, if you know the science of reading, the way JJ was saying earlier about the letters as far as the words, it starts back here and has to come back here and then has to go back again and come back again. And if it's not done at those primary ages when your brain is ready for that and more palatable for that, we wait till we get 12 to try to teach them how to read. Yes, we're going to get some skills, but he's still behind. So I think with the AI tools and with the text to audio, or yeah, read aloud text, it helps our students get to a more even playing field. The playing field's not going to be even when you were identified late in life anyway. It's going to take you longer. However, you can get closer to even and access more if you have these tools in place. So for me, I can use it for that. But I do also know that it is the Wikipedia of the world. So I don't trust all the information, but I will use it.
Okay. Jaron, I'm just curious. Are you using any AI? Are you using any AI? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, any of those?
No, I'm not using AI at the moment, but I'm hoping to in the future so I can benefit from it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And before we go to the next question, I just want to say to JJ, I hear you loud and clear. I know firsthand about the hallucinations that you can get with AI, but I'm going to say that people who are at a deficit, as Chantel shared, they can glean some benefit from using AI. And I personally think that technology in general is a way of leveling the playing field for people who may not have as much access or resources as others. So, but what I wanted to say is I hear you loud and clear.
Well, but that point right there is one of the things that I think is what creates a division, is that technology isn't available for everyone. The technology that is current today, like the microphone that I'm using and that the folks here have, not everyone has that. And our current infrastructure doesn't even allow for continued development of that. There's a divide that increases, and by not giving folks the first principles in order for them to get closer to making that divide smaller, means that those with access to tech are allowed to use the tech. Most of these AI models, the ones that are useful, and what I've heard offered, which I think would be a brilliant idea, having AI create models for education that is specific to a particular learner, finding out from that learner how they learn, and then creating a model for the education that lets them little by little learn how to read. For instance, give me a sentence that based on how I learn and the words I read, give me a lesson from AI of how to improve my reading skills. And having AI, again, granted, if you've input the information there, having AI create a lesson plan for that particular student. That sounds excellent. But does every student have access to computers? I don't think so. I know that my godfather, he has 3 daughters and 1 computer in the house. They can't all access the same education. And that's where, having resources spent on human beings is very important. And we just aren't doing that anymore. We're not doing that as a culture. We're not doing that as a society. We're not doing that from a governmental point of view. Looking at what happened with the Department of Education at the federal level, it is appalling to me as a parent.
I'm going to say that I'm probably the last person that you need to have a conversation with about the digital divide from the standpoint of where I stand as far as that is concerned. But I do think I do think that there is opportunity, even with some of the free AI, for people to access on their phones. And 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 I think how I want to position that is that we've had our very first guest on Conversation with Tony Mobley, Dr. Hasmukh Gaijar of Cape Town, South Africa, um, would often talk about his program called MobiLearn, which is a program that's based primarily on smartphones and particularly in Android because most of the world is on Android. And he utilizes that software to speak to those who only have access to phones. And that may be a way in which we sort of embrace AI for regular people, I'm going to say, for more diverse people, to because most people have access to a smartphone. And I tease my sister-in-law about the fact that I call it the pocket computer. And because that's the way in which I look at it. I look at it as if it is a pocket computer and that you are able to do a great many things on that device. And so is it fair that some people have computers and some people don't? No, it's not fair. But I come from a culture, and I'm gonna be transparent about this, that we try to make the best out of whatever we have access to. And that's just been the way in which the community that I grew up in works. You know, we often have to try to make, lemonade out of lemons. And I just I hear you and I understand that. But to a certain extent, what we don't want to do is to say, well, I don't have a computer, so I might not even try. I shouldn't even try. And I'm not saying that you were saying that, but there are people who will make excuses for not trying, to change their particular situation. And what I want to say to anyone, and if you've seen me on any other programs that are online, you will know that I'm one of those persons that talks about the digital divide probably to ad nauseum for some people. But you have to be willing to take whatever you have access to and try to make the best out of it. It's frustrating. It makes you sad that everybody is not on a level playing field, but you just got to try to make the best out of whatever situation that you can. And I think for some people, some AI can be a resource, and it can make a difference in their lives. And I think we should have another conversation about the use of AI and the digital divide. We're not going to take any more time in this conversation to talk about it, unless you want to say something else before we go to the next question. Okay. The next question is from Laura Thompson. Do you support the return to pen and paper in the classroom as a way to avoid AI cheating? Is removal of electronics from the classroom the wrong way to do it? And we're going to go with our educators first. We're going to talk with Chantel.
No. The short answer is no. I think that one, paper and pencil is necessary for certain things. However, there are so many different programs that you can eliminate the waste of paper. I feel like math is one of those things you're gonna have to put a pencil to a paper, period. There's no way around it. I don't care what kind of math you're teaching, you're gonna have to put a pencil to a paper, period. Writing, you're gonna have to put a pencil to a paper at some point. However, if you're doing an experiment, you can use different programs, gizmos and your Nearpods and Discover Education and jump in there and do those things virtually and then do them hands-on or get the chemistry kit out. It's okay to pull the chemistry kit out and make fake volcanoes and all of those things still. I just think going away from the electronics period will put us a little bit behind when it's time to be hireable. Because at the end of the day, we're still working on making our students college and or career ready. And in order to be hireable, you need to be able to utilize those devices, even if you don't agree with them.
Thank you. Carissa?
I definitely agree with everything Chantel said. And I just want to add from the perspective of my current role working in assessment, pencil paper is definitely not going to work because thinking about the state assessments that the kids have to take at the end of the school year, it is on the computer. So I feel like we're kind of setting them up for failure when this whole school year, if we've only used pencil paper and then they have to get on the computer and they have to type out responses or select their responses on the computer. So I know for us, a big thing that we push is moving away from pencil paper. Now, providing that scratch paper for them if it's needed for them to jot down notes and that kind of thing. But we are moving towards more being on that computer just to set the kids up for success with those. And I know everybody may not agree with it, but it's the way that it is, and that's how they're being tested. So just to try to set them up for success and not frustration.
Okay, we're going to go to our parent on the panel.
Oh, no, you didn't. So what you didn't hear in who I am is my major was music education. So as a music educator, and I was fortunate to go to university up in Oregon, where we had one of the last music therapy programs. For us in education theory, it was also imperative to figure out how to teach different kinds of people. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the strategies my daughter used as a person who couldn't type because the characters on the keyboard don't make sense to her. So she had to have a pencil and a pen. And sometimes it was an electronic pen. Sometimes an electronic pen that we would take that electronic pen, we take that and we had a number of different tech because I am a techie person. I'm a network engineer today. I don't work in music, but this is one of the most wonderful tools for $25 or for $0. If you do have access to a computer, you can go to Tinkercad and for free, create an account there and learn how to program because the future, I agree, is in tech. The future of everything we do is in tech, but being crippled. Sorry. But the fact that students are no longer allowed to connect the different parts of the brain in writing, that is, say, kinesthetic learning, in moving while they learn. My daughter teaches gymnastics. And so she does, when she's tutoring math, sometimes she'll have the kids do gymnastics moves while they're doing math because it involves the entire body and not just fingers, or in the crippled state of our society, which doesn't even look up, 2 thumbs and learning how to use only 2 thumbs to interact with your education. This is terrible. These are horrible monsters, but it's the future. And it's just making more sheep in a world of sheep who are intended to be consumers and targets of purchasing rather than people who know how to build things. If we stop learning, we stop making music, we stop using the things that are around us to create art, then we're just consumers, and we all should plan on working at McDonald's and creating the McDonald's for whatever the robot army may be in the future. Widgets and gadgets, because we will be slaves to the Terminator machines.
Well, I don't think McDonald's is an option, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure the machines are going to take over that position as well. Um, Jaron, do you have any opinion on what's best for you to use? Do you? I know you like technology, but what is your thoughts about computers versus pens and paper?
I think technology would be most useful in it,
Okay,
especially when you're
all right,
but you're having some problems with the answering the questions you're given.
okay, all right. Well, thank you, sir. Laura Thompson is back again, and the question is: the fear of AI's higher education has led to refusal of technology use by students during the class. Suggestions for a middle ground. And we're going to go to our parent last because I want him to talk about that product. I'm, you might have said what it was, but I might have missed it. Um, we're going to start with Carissa this time, and then we're going to go to Chantel.
I was trying to read the question. What was the question again?
The fear of AI in higher education has led to refusal of technology used by students during the class. Suggestions for a middle ground.
It's definitely an issue that we definitely see, especially like when there is like testing going on. We are seeing that kids are trying to use AI to cheat and that kind of thing. I think one thing that we've put in place is where we try to lock it down, where they aren't able to go out and look at other browsers when they are testing. With one of the system softwares that we use for our testing. So during the school year, teachers are able to use, it's called a lockdown feature, where they can try to lock it down to prevent some of that with the upper grades. And it is definitely something that we implement when we have like our state testing. Yes, is it still an issue? It's still, it's not proof that it's going to work every single time, but that's kind of what we've come up with to try to help prevent some of that. Also in the classrooms, kids are not supposed to have like the devices, the phones and that kind of thing. One of our policies now, so that is another thing that they're trying to use to kind of prevent some of those issues that may come up with trying to use AI or other things during the class time.
Chantel.
Okay, so I agree with Carissa. Carissa, as far as using those lockdown software systems, of course, our district uses those. I would also say, Aaron, a lot of people, it was controversy on should students be forced not to use their phones or have their phones at school. I think the phones should be parking lot somewhere other than in their book bags. I don't know if you need a locker like you're at the gym or something, just somewhere because I think that yes, students may need them after school for communication purposes and safety purposes for students who walk because we work and live within these smaller neighborhoods. So it's walking neighborhoods. So I do believe in the safety of our kids. However, during the school day, there is no reason for you to text your kids when there's a phone at the school, because all it does is cause confusion for as far as communication for students, parents, teachers, admin. I think it is a very gray communication area as far as the middle ground. Use the devices that the district provides. We got all this money after COVID, and we had one-to-one devices in most schools around America. So why not use them? I know they cost to upkeep them. That's half of the problem with a lot of our districts is we don't have the manpower to do this, and we don't have the programs to do that. Then you shouldn't have bought them. Put the insurance on them, so that you can get those updates. Pay it on the front end when the government decided we could have that chip. So that way, in 3 to 5 years, when they take that money away from us, we can come up with a plan B. Just instead of being so reactive, be a little more proactive when it comes down to those electronics that are provided to our students. Because if we're in a public school system, and I'm speaking from a public school teacher's point of view, if I'm in a public school system, then everything every student in that school should be given the same devices. They're given the same textbooks. They're given the same one-to-one computer. They're allowed the same bandwidth of data or internet to use while they're in the building. So we're supposed to be evening that playing field already when they walk into that building. That's the whole idea of the public school system. So if we're going to do that, then let's do it.
Okay. Okay. JJ.
So you asked what the device was. It is a Arduino. This is an Arduino, which this one has a Ethernet hat, allows me to talk to it over a network connection. But one doesn't need to buy this. One can use a free account at AutoCAD, Tinkercad, and this is available for educators. So if I wanted to build a circuit, learn how to build a circuit, I can take, this is for free. This is on the internet with AutoCAD. I can go in and simulate what this design is going to do on a board before I build it, before I buy it, before I buy anything. But also, they have courses here. This is where I think that the divide that is disconnected between the digital folks who use tech versus learn tech. Learning tech, if people, these free resources, 100% free resources, include this in your chemistry class, include this in your programming class, include this in your math class, include this in your English class. Describe the steps by which you would create something that can improve your daily life at home, such as a monitor that says when the fridge door is open, if you don't have a fridge door that makes noise, something like that. And even, for me, finding the problem to answer, looking around your surroundings and say, what do I see an issue? Because that also, when I talk about tech destroying our culture, folks don't interact. If you've ever been to an airport or go to a store, folks are on their phone the entire time. Folks are driving while on their phone. It's insane to me. But again, I'm old, I guess. I like horses, so that maybe is a big difference in that. For me, first principles were imperative to learn, both for myself as a person who plays instruments. If you just had a Casio, if you said, hey, AI, write a song for me, where is the personality in that? Where is the you in that? There's no individual within that. And there's no individual in learning how to play the instrument, how to emote and make that instrument part of you, whatever it might be, whether it is programming something that is important and personal to you, using the technology, this is affordable technology or free technology, and online free. And that means accessible. Go down to your local library. Libraries also, we fund them. We fund them with our taxes. We fund them with our bonds. So since we're funding them, use it. Use your library. Library will have access to computers. And it's mandated to be available to anyone. If it's not one available at the time, you schedule. For folks in schools, in watching initially, the Mac program and the Apple program had available to schools, computers to kids, and now it's the Google platform, a lot of the Chromebooks that are available to students. Use that to the fullest extent. Get involved with your kids, whether they be as a teacher or as a parent.
I want you to share that website one more time, if you don't mind.
It was Tinkercad. Tinkercad. Get the URL. Can someone? I'll send this to Mickey, and if someone can put it on the, what's it called? It's Tinkercad. TinkerCAD.com.
Okay.
/learn. TinkerCAD.com/learn. Tinkercad.
Thank you, JJ, for that, and thank you, educators, for your responses. Before we go to our closing questions, I just want to talk to Jaron for just a quick second. Jaron, you shared with us in the earlier conversation that you had gotten your accommodations. Can you share what you plan to do once you have reached that goal of passing the GED, and what's next for you?
Hmm. Well, I'll either become a book author, a game designer, or a movie maker. But
Okay.
aside from those things, I plan to travel.
Okay. Okay. And you shared with us, I think the last time that you plan to travel. Can you talk about some of the places you have already been? I know you've been quite a few places with the family. Jaron is my nephew. If I hadn't shared that in this conversation, I know that I shared it in the past conversation. He is my nephew, and when I was really down and not able to do a lot of things for myself, he was able to come and stay with me while some of my other family members were able to travel and have a good time. And he was a trooper. He really, really took good care of me. So, but can you talk about some of the places that you have been to?
I've been to Tennessee, Centerville. I've been in New York City twice, Texas,
I know
Charleston,
you've been to Florida a few times.
Florida.
You've been
Also,
to Florida a few times, haven't you?
I've been to Savannah as well a few times.
Yeah.
Been to Philadelphia as well.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you've been to Philadelphia and New Jersey and New York. Yes. Um, uh, and the reason that Carissa was able to jump in on Jaron, she is also my niece. Um, um, so we're down to the last few questions. Thank you, Jaron, for your responses.
You're welcome.
And so, what's next for you, exceptional panel? What's next for you? We're going to start with Jaron. You already sort of went there. We're going to want to give us a few more details. What's next for you?
Sure. What's
So,
next?
what's next? Yes.
I may want to
All right.
start.
Let me ask you this. So, once you get your GED, are you planning to do more education? Are you thinking about junior college or college, or are you thinking? What were some of the things you just mentioned in terms of you besides traveling, you want to
Yeah.
be a game designer?
Yes, sir.
So what kinds of games are you thinking about? Do you have a particular system that you're interested in working with? Nintendo or PlayStation or?
Oh, we're all game systems, really. Some games can be either fun, some can be fun and educational, and also games you can use your family.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much, Jaron. Um, Chantel, what's next for you?
Okay. Next for me is finishing out the school year. Personally, get my house decorated for Christmas because clearly I love Christmas and I already have my Christmas tree up. Um, and by the summer, I will have completed the leadership program, and that'll give me the opportunity to see what's out there as far as opportunities for me outside of the classroom again, that require that leadership certification or add on to my certificate or whatever. I also have, of course, real estate plans. I'm always in these real estate streets. So continuing to build my business and publicize my brand. That's it. That's all.
All right, Carissa.
What's next for me is my background is primarily elementary, so this year has definitely been a learning curve working with middle and high school. So um, just continuing to get better in that area of working with middle and high school. I would say personally, yes, I am Christmas, one of my favorite holidays, so definitely getting ready for that as well. And I am considering maybe looking into leadership myself.
Mm, 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 mm. JJ?
Well, as mentioned, the concert schedule coming up this what's it called this 15th and 16th at St. Peter's Episcopal Church in San Francisco. So that's what's coming up for me, and that's yeah, out in the Bay. So I'll be performing there there in a couple weeks. A couple pieces by Ola Gjello, who's a Norwegian composer. So look forward to that.
All right. All right. So I want to thank everyone. We have one last question. And that question is, you're speaking to the world. What do you want the world to know? And we're going to go ahead with JJ first. You've already shared quite a bit of things that you want the world to know, but
keep learning every day. Keep
yes,
your
keep
brain
learning.
full of what you can keep your brain full with, and as much as you can invest in people, do that. Investing in computers, it's limited. It's 80 years if we're blessed, and having, in your case, Tony's all this great family around you. That's imperative. Like seeing what the importance of family is, and keeping track of today rather than worrying about tomorrow.
Thank you. Chantel?
What I would like the world to know. I'm on the same wave with JJ. Nurture your relationships. If you don't have relationships that are nurturable, establish those relationships. Because, sometimes we have toxic people in our lives, and be okay with those people falling out and nurture the ones that nurture you back. Be always open to learn. And whatever your method of learning, just be okay with it and allow others to pour into you. As I learned so much when I come to these panels, things that little nuggets that people don't realize they drop as we're talking, because I'm just picking up a little piece and like, oh, I can implement that into my life. And I feel like we need to be able to take that from people, because I don't disagree with JJ. Technology is not one of those things that's going to last as long as people and relationships. However, I'm going to continue to use that technology as long as I can to keep these relationships alive. So, because I am the one on the phone a lot of the times, but I do think it's imperative that we put it down and get back to the business of people.
Thank you. Jaron, is there something that you want people to know?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I want the world to know that people like me can achieve anything with hard work and determination, and to never give up.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. Carissa?
What I would want the world to know is, and I think JJ may have said it earlier, is just from an educational standpoint of supporting your children, supporting the students, making sure that they have and providing those things that you can at home for them. Because we as educators, we can't do it all. Technology can't do it all. So as parents, please support your students wherever and however you can, communicate with the teachers, all of those things, just because it really does help the students in the long run.
And my last words, and as far as this is concerned, is parents, we're living in difficult times, and I encourage you to do extra for your children. Make sacrifices in terms of the opportunity for them to have outlets and experience different things, and take JJ up on this offer to learn some free technology, visit that website, and we're going to see if we can find some other websites that we can share on the Conversation with Tony Mobley website. So again, I want to thank my panel so much for being here with me today. I think this was a great conversation, and I appreciate each and every one of you who sacrificed to be here today on Conversation with Tony Mobley. Conversation with Tony Mobley is produced by Clylock Lopez Waterman. Our current team is Laura Thompson, Zachary Sorensen, Mickey McAture. Thank you, sir, and thank you, team. Thank you, Mimo Live, which is the production network TV broadcast that we use, and we also use the Zoom meetings platform, making this broadcast possible. We have conversations with real people. Stay tuned for new episodes and great conversations. Thank you for the nearly 200 plus conversations on Conversation with Tony Mobley. If you have time, we ask that you go back and look at those conversations. Hopefully you will find something that is meaningful and hopefully is helpful to you. Thank you, Exceptional People panel, for your part in our conversation today. People that you are. Next week, we're going to have professional basketball player Matt Mobley, who I know he's played in Europe and South America. And I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully next week he can tell us everywhere he has played. We're going to have him next week. And we ask that you please feel free to support Conversation with Tony Mobley by volunteering or donating. We want to keep Conversations with Tony Mobley running. You can donate on our website, and we ask that you like and subscribe on YouTube. We're going to ask again, please like and subscribe. We have been kind of stuck, and I'll be transparent, we've been kind of stuck at around 600 subscribers. And I really, and I know this is really being ambitious, but I really would like for us to move to 1,000 before the end of the year. And I know that is extremely ambitious, but I think we can do it. And I'm just asking, please ask your family and friends and family members and friends to subscribe. And if you're not going to subscribe, then just like Conversation with Tony Mobley. Again, if you have a chance, please check out our website. It is an amazing website. And I'm not saying it because it's my website. I'm saying it because we have people who are managing the website, and it's out of sight. And that there is, even this conversation, the information that was shared prior to the conversation that was managed by our website, awesome. It is truly awesome. We're going to say good night. God bless you. Take care. See you soon.